For every successful AAA game lately, there's just as many, if not even more failures along the way. For every Ghost of Tsushima, there's a Marvel's Avengers and a Godfall that gets marketed, hyped and overhyped just to come out either completely different than what we've been led to believe or just buggy and unfinished. When these titles all cost $60 or more, it's really no surprise at all why the indie scene has been doing very well the last couple years. I'm the first to admit that I've been trapped in the cycle of AAA disappointment of games myself. Most games I try to play outside of my wheelhouse end up being letdowns. My last 5 years of gaming has basically been Destiny 1, Overwatch, and then Destiny 2. These aren't perfect games by any means, but they're very addicting games. They're games that want all of your time and work very, very hard to get what they want from you. That's why when I picked up Deep Rock Galactic when it launched its 1.0 in May this year, I fell in love. Not with a game that looks pretty, that's trying to inject me with as much dopamine as often as possible to keep me hooked. I fell in love with a game that doesn't demand anything of its players, a game that loves you no matter how often you log in, a game made by developers that feel like a friend you'd love to have a beer with, developers who I think understand how to make a good live service game more than most companies out there. In this video, I want to talk about why Deep Rock Galactic, an indie game made by Ghost Ship Games, is my favorite game of 2020, and why I think every single person that loves first-person shooters needs to play DRG, especially if you've been feeling fatigued lately with the games you play. Hi guys, I'm Legionless and this channel is about helping you enjoy your games more. If you want to enjoy your games more and get recommended a ton of Deep Rock Galactic content that'll give you a bunch of build options for when you play DRG, make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram from the description below, where I have easy to read infographics for every build on the channel. Let's take a step back. What is Deep Rock Galactic? DRG is a first-person, class-based shooter where you play a range of mission types either solo or in match-made lobbies, maxing at you and 3 other players. It's often compared to Left 4 Dead, Killing Floor, or Vermintide, since the very watered-down description of the game is going in and surviving to get back out. A more accurate portrayal of DRG is you play any of 4 distinct classes with their own strengths, weaknesses, and identities. You're tasked with completing missions on a dangerous planet full of different types of bugs. These mission types range from dropping in and eliminating bosses, to harvesting eggs or rare items, to building a pipeline that you can ride like a roller coaster while refining liquid fuel. Every mission involves a couple core gameplay mechanics, shooting bugs with your weapons to survive, and using your tools in your toolkit to mine or collect rare items. What sets these missions apart from other games and what ultimately makes Deep Rock Galactic, in my opinion, more replayable than even Destiny 2 is that even though missions are predictable, they're never the exact same. I can run a mission where I need to eliminate a couple bosses one moment, and then the next moment I'm doing another elimination mission and the level is completely different. I talked a little bit about this before in a video about what Destiny can learn from Deep Rock Galactic, but basically this magic is all because of the foundational system DRG is created on. The procedural generation system makes every level created for a mission feel familiar enough that you get a natural sense of progression as you get better at the game. You'll likely never get the same exact level again with how many different pieces go into generating a level. Even when you reach the end game, there's special missions called deep dives that keep the same exact levels every time you run the deep dive. The set levels change each week, so there's always something new in the end game, but even if you were to run the same deep dive back to back, it'll still feel different each time. You'll have different players that impact how easy or difficult it is, and spawn patterns and the amount of enemies and waves will also be different. I just really want to make it clear that if you're playing a game right now that bores you, because you're running the same path, the same treadmill over and over to the point where you turn on a movie or Netflix just to keep you from falling asleep, there isn't a better reason for you to play Deep Rock Galactic. How many of you feel you're paying too much for games? Games that don't just pressure you to buy the base game, but throw in DLCs, season passes, and extra content in your face you feel you need to get or be left behind. It's like seeing water in a desert, but Ghost Ship Games does not charge charge a penny for any of the extra content they add to the game. And remember, earlier I said they're a live service game, meaning they do add new content. Here's some of the free content they came out with just since June. 3 new secondary mission objectives, biomes, which are the different types of regions that make up the playable areas in the game, were all expanded upon, so each area is even more unique and distinct from one another. So much so that some areas have specific events or enemy varieties linked to them. 2 completely new mission types were also added, taking the game from 5 mission types to 7, which is literally adding 40% more replayable content for free. And then dozens and dozens of little additions, bug fixes, or changes that don't really mean much if you're not familiar with the game, but are all linked to in the description below if you want to see just how much they've done for free in the last 6 months. You're probably wondering how they make any money and how they're able to support a live service game if they don't charge for their content. They're completely funded by purchases of the game and small cosmetic DLC packs. No, it's not like Fortnite where you cough at the wrong time and now you've just spent $100 on skins. There's only a couple DLC packs and they cost less than a large pizza. The game itself as well as the DLC packs go on sale a bunch of times throughout the year. Like right now you can go buy Deep Rock Galactic for $21 USD and easily get a game with hundreds of hours of playtime. All of this sounds great, but there's 2 things that I personally love even more about the game: class identity and the community. There's 4 playable classes in Deep Rock Galactic, and they each have their own unique kits that enhance the player fantasies. There's the Driller, which is a close range character that specializes in weapons that do cleave damage to multiple enemies at a time, and tools that focus on digging and creating paths in terrain. Driller is my personal favorite because I love going through dozens and dozens of enemies and also being able to create my own paths to travel. There's the Scout, which is an extremely mobile, more precision focused class. This class has a grapple you can use to zoom around the map more quickly than anyone else and reach places that would take another class a ton of time and resources to do. The weapons on the Scout are going to test your aim since they're more effective when you land shots on the critical weak points found on enemies. If you're someone that loves classes that move around a lot, you'll love Scout. The Gunner is the muscle on the team. You can spec him to do intense burst damage for single target threats, or you can go the opposite direction and build your character to mow down dozens of enemies in front of you. With his huge weapons with tons of ammo, he's the slowest class in the game, but he's equipped with a deployable shield to protect the team, as well as a zipline to help everyone move safely through the mission. If you like unloading tons of ammo, you'll really like what Gunner has to offer. The last class is hands down one of, if not the strongest class at locking down and securing an area. The Engineer is equipped with weapons and a toolkit that make it extremely difficult for enemies to get to you and your team. Engineer is armed with a platform cannon that can help move the team across gaps, let the Scout grapple to mission objectives and rare items, or control the pathing enemies have to take. He's also equipped with a sentry turret that automatically shoots any enemy that gets too close. If your favorite type of class to play involves a more defensive playstyle that also helps your team do better, Engineer is for you. If all of these classes sound great to you, you're able to play, level up, and progress as many of them as you'd like. You can main 1 or 2, or you can master all of them equally. Every game out there likes to tout they have a fantastic community. From the outside looking in, you believe them, but then when you look behind the curtain, you don't like what you see. In Deep Rock Galactic, the community is based around common morals ingrained into every player the moment they begin the game. You learn how to salute, and very quickly you'll see that you're greeted every time you join someone's game with the friendly animation and voice line. Every time you finish a mission with someone, every time you get revived, every time you revive someone, you can be doing nothing at all and the awesome people playing this game will smash their salute button and you'll hear the shared battle cry and you just feel like you're a part of something very kind and wholesome. If you're a DRG fan watching this video, comment down below your favorite salute or greeting. If you haven't played DRG yet, check out the comments below or check out the Steam forums and you'll get a glimpse of a truly wonderful community of players that have each player's best interests at heart. If all of this isn't enough to convince you, Deep Rock Galactic is 30% off on Steam right now, and it's also included with the Xbox Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass for PC. The Steam player base is separate from the Game Pass and Game Pass for PC player bases, which both share the same matchmaking, but the Steam player base is larger. If you're already a Game Pass subscriber, you should definitely download the game on your Xbox or PC and try it out if you haven't already. It's no additional cost to you if you're already subscribed to Game Pass. This is a game you won't feel guilty purchasing and thinking you're always left behind with updates to the game. You don't need to spend every second of your life playing DRG. You can play as often as you'd like, or you can play once a month. Both the players and the developers will embrace you with open arms either way. If you want to enjoy your games more, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out Deep Rock Galactic on Steam or Game Pass from the links in the description below. That way you have no excuse to take a closer look at my favorite game of 2020. If you decide to pick up the game, there's tons of content on the channel to help you out, but you should definitely start with the video in the description called the best starting class in DRG. Comment down below what you think of the game from this first look, and at me on Twitter with screenshots if you decide to pick up the game during the holidays. Thanks for watching.